Measures for ensuring peaceful and transparent polls. All critical events will be videographed to closely monitor the proceedings on the poll day without violating the secrecy of the voting process. The Commission has directed that arrangements for webcasting shall be done in critical polling stations and all polling stations in vulnerable areas, or at least in 50% of total polling stations, including auxiliary polling stations, whichever is higher. We have seen the preparations of the officers in this regard. The officers have been guided that absolutely on objective criteria, the critical stations and the vulnerable areas should be selected. And I'm happy to say that at least more than 1 lakh polling stations across the 5 full-bound states, which is roughly 60% of all polling stations, are covered by webcasting. To ensure further transparency, the officers of the civil services drawn from IAS, IPS, and IRS and other account services shall be deployed as central observers in the coming elections. Nearly 900 observers, general observers, police observers, and expenditures observers will keep a watch on every aspect of elections in the field. The special observers will also be deployed if necessary. Another important issue is the expenditure monitoring. As you are all aware, that only 2 days before we have increased the limit of candidates for the elections as far as the expenditure is concerned, from 28 lakh to 40 lakh. As per revised limits pertinent to these 5 elections, the limit on candidate expenditure for the state of Punjab, Uttarakhand and UP will now be rupees 40 lakh, and for Goa and Manipur it shall be rupees 28 lakhs. And this is also has been increased in view of keeping the digital modes of communication and the campaigns. The Commission has zero tolerance towards abuse of money power and misuse of the government machinery, as some of the political parties have mentioned to us. Officials have been instructed to monitor expenditure-sensitive constituencies and ensure comprehensive and coordinated actions. Conducting inducement-free and ethical election is of a prime importance for the Election Commission of India. Commission, wherever had gone to all the 5 states, held meetings with all enforcement agencies, whether it is from income tax, the DRI, the excise department, the railways, the airport authorities. All enforcement agencies were met. We met all the enforcement agencies. We saw their positions. We directed them that no illegal money, no illegal, this alcohol or any freebies or drugs can be distributed. They will have to, increase their efforts in this regard. We had monitored the seizures which were made by them so far. We have asked them to expedite the seizures. We have asked them to block the flow of liquor into their states which are poll bound. So a comprehensive plan has been prepared by them also. And again, when we will go, we will have to examine it. We have to see that we are absolutely for inducement-free elections in all the 5 states. Voter EVMs in all the polling stations, the EVM and VVPAT will be utilized, and Commission has already made arrangements to ensure availability of an adequate number of EVMs and VVPAT for the smooth conduct of elections. I'll also mention about the important IT tools which are important for the election purposes. And the first is the Suvidha app, which has been developed for all political parties, and they can fix their campaign areas. They can ask for the grounds through that app. They need not to require to go to any place, to the DO's office, or there's an app on which they can directly apply. And the PWD app is also there for the person with disabilities, and definitely they can ask for the wheelchair, the free transport facility, and whichever facility they require, so that they can facilitate their movement to the polling stations. An important app is the C-Vigil application. We would like, for any election purpose, it is Jan Bhagidari, the pupil participation, which is important for any good election. Therefore, the C-Vigil app should be used by all persons general public, the voters, and that particular app can be downloaded, and any incident of violation of MCC, distribution of freebies, distribution of money can be uploaded on that. You just take a picture, click it, send it. And within 100 minutes, the Election Commission of India's officer will definitely reach to that place because automatically latitude and longitude are available with us on that particular thing. So C-Vigilance is a tool which empowers the public to clean the system. And we request and we earnestly request the persons that they should use this C-Vigil app. And it has been used also by some of the states where very good results had come to us. And by this methodology, even the candidates, the political parties and ECI will have a complete control that where is the freebies distribution or the defacement of the property of anything like that or a violation of MCC that will come immediately to our notice and action will be taken accordingly. The model of conduct of code, the MCC comes into effect immediately from the announcement of schedule. Commission had made elaborate arrangement for ensuring the effective implementation of MCC guidelines, and any violation of these guidelines would be strictly dealt with. I also like to mention about the sweep activities. Friends, sweep initiatives, that is the systematic voters education program which we have, is a very important program through which we reach to the voters, and we want voters to be aware about their rights. Voters should be aware about the polling booth safeties. The voter should know how to how to go to the polling stations, how to cast their vote, how to use EVM. So this is the basic thing, and how to increase the participation of the voters. That is a very big thing before us. So through our sweep activities, we will make outreach programs to our voters to make them aware about the safety standards at the polling booth so that they can be assured that the polling booths are absolutely safe. We will tell them about the assured minimum facilities which are available on the booth. And similarly, a voter's guide, a small voter guide will also be provided to the voters along with the epic card. And the first time voters will also be given a letter giving in a voting and the various features as to how the elections are to be conducted to make them empowered actually. Until unless you make the voters empowered, until unless they realize their duties and unless they are absolutely informed, the election process will not be clean. So it is our endeavor through the sweep activities or otherwise that outreach program should be absolutely vibrant and we can reach to the voter. And one more important area for the voter participation, that we have identified all the polling booths where the voters' participation was less in comparison to the earlier years or otherwise also. That the national average or the state average is suppose 80%, and then we have identified the polling stations where it was much less. So the targeted intervention will be made by the sweep activities, by the BLOs, and to find out that why that particular percentage was less. For a strengthening of the democracy, it is essential that all persons should participate. The 60% or less or 50% participation is not sufficient. And the Election Commission of India is trying its level best to make a targeted intervention to motivate the persons that they should come out to the polling in large number of the cases. Now I come to COVID protocols and COVID safe elections, I think for which many persons are waiting and a lot of queries were coming even before announcement of the polls. I will start that there were a lot of queries on this issue, that what will happen, what is going to happen. But I would like to start with a very, couplet. यकीन हो तो कोई रास्ता निकलता है, हवा की ओट भी लेकर चिराग जलता है. So therefore, यकीन होना चाहिए. We should have a keen, we should have a faith, we should have a absolutely belief that we can pass through this particular pandemic also through our safety measures, through our proper following of the COVID appropriate behavior. Only then we can sail through effectively, safely into this election process, as has been done in earlier past elections also. The decision to go ahead with scheduled elections was taken after much deliberation, discussions, and careful analysis of the ever dynamic situation. The situation is very dynamic. It is not static. Nobody can predict. Nobody could have predicted earlier also, a month before. So the situation is very, very dynamic. Let me go back to the Constitution of India on this issue. Article 172(1) states clearly that every legislative assembly of every state, unless sooner dissolved, shall continue for 5 years, and no longer. So the period of any constituency is only up to 5 years and no longer. Any postponement of the assembly may result in a situation which denies people of that state the right to elect an accountable government of their choice. The government will have to be of their choice. It is a democratic process. Democracy forms part of the basic structure of the Constitution, and holding of timely election is the essence of maintaining democratic governance, and this task has been given to the Election Commission of India to hold timely elections. Commission has directed that all central state government officials deployed for election duty shall be doubly vaccinated. So all the officials who will be on the election duty will be doubly vaccinated. On the recommendation of the ECI, the Union Health Ministry has issued orders on 8 February 2021 that all election officials and employees will be treated as a frontline workers, and all eligible officials shall be given a precautionary booster dose accordingly. So these persons will also be given a booster dose, the precautionary dose also. With this, all polling officials who are on the poll duty will be fully safe. So I have spoken that my booths are safe because my booths are fully sanitized, and all provisions of the gloves, sanitizer and everything is there. And here are the polling officials who are the safe. We have directed on our visits also, and otherwise also, we have directed the chief secretaries of all polling going states to accelerate the first and second dose of vaccination to all eligible citizens above 18 years. Wherever we have gone, in all the polling stations, we have reviewed the situation of the vaccination. And as you people have also reported, you have also informed that we have asked the chief secretaries to expedite this first dose as well as second dose to my electors of this country. And let me share with you the vaccination program, and they have accelerated the vaccination of the persons of various states. Let me share some vaccination figures with you. Data is on January 7th, 2022. In Goa, more than 95.8% people have been vaccinated with both the doses. So almost all population of Goa has got double vaccination. And